0517 local time. The ocean is calm. Too calm. Deep inside the Combat Information Center, a single tone cuts through the low hum of electronics. Not loud, not urgent, just wrong. A sonar operator tilts his head. The trace on his screen isn't noise. It isn't biologic. It's narrow, focused, moving with intent. New contact, bearing 279. The bridge doesn't react. Not yet. For a moment, the contact drifts. Passive, almost curious. Then the signature changes. The water around it begins to churn in a way that only one thing does: cavitation. The operator doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't have to. Contact is accelerating. Another console lights up. Speed is climbing fast. Too fast for a drifting object. Too fast for debris. The line sharpens, compresses, becomes unmistakable. The watch supervisor leans in. Classify. There's a pause. Half a second. Long enough for everyone in the room to understand what's coming next. Possible weapon. On the bridge, the captain's eyes never leave the surface ahead. His voice is flat, controlled. Mark datum. Steel shutters slide open along the forward gun mount. Not all the way, just enough to move. A quiet mechanical acknowledgement that the ship has shifted posture. On the flight deck, a yellow shirt freezes mid-step. A tow bar hangs suspended inches above non-skid. Nobody speaks. Down below, the sonar picture resolves completely. This is not a drill, the supervisor says. Weapon release confirmed. The words land heavy. The contact has separated from its origin point. It's no longer drifting. It's running hot, clean, purpose-built. A torpedo. It cuts through the water on a shallow trajectory, hugging a depth that keeps it fast and hard to shake. Its course isn't random. It isn't searching. It's aimed. Track is steady, sonar reports. No wandering. That matters. Wandering weapons are dumb. This one is not. In CIC, hands move faster now, but still without panic. Tracks are assigned. Timelines appear. A clock starts ticking in the corner of the main display. Time to closest point of approach. Measured in minutes. The bridge phone rings once. CIC to bridge. We have an inbound torpedo track, bearing 279. Speed high. No one asks who fired it. That question can wait. The captain nods once. All stations, he says quietly. Condition 1. Throughout the ship, the shift is instant. Watertight doors begin to seal. Systems transition from standby to live. The carrier ahead maintains course, massive and deliberate, as if unaware of the danger racing beneath the surface. In CIC, the torpedo's acoustic signature grows louder, more defined. It's adjusting its depth slightly, riding layers of water density with precision. Guidance is active, sonar reports. It's listening. That's worse. A listening torpedo is thinking. The fire control team plots its path again. The solution doesn't change. The weapon is committed. It has chosen its prey. Closest approach in 4 minutes, someone says. No one responds. Above deck, a jet blast deflector creaks as the ship flexes. The sea remains deceptively smooth. Sunlight breaking cleanly across the carrier's wake. Below that surface, death is moving fast. The torpedo's speed spikes again. A final sprint. The signature tightens, cutting through the water like a blade. Acceleration noted, sonar says. It's running hot. That phrase hangs in the air. Running hot means it's no longer conserving energy. It means the weapon believes it's close enough to commit everything. On the bridge, the captain finally speaks again. Maintain course. No evasive turn. Not yet. Turning too early would confirm the target. Turning wrong would make things worse. In CIC, a junior sailor swallows hard, eyes locked on the scrolling data. The numbers don't care how he feels. They keep moving. The torpedo doesn't slow. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't miss. Not yet. Track is firm, sonar confirms. Weapon is homing. The room goes silent, except for the steady ping of the system marking each second slipping away. Out there, somewhere below the hull, something has been unleashed, and whatever fired it knew exactly what it was doing. The clock is already running. In the Combat Information Center, the torpedo track holds steady, a thin white line cutting across the display with ruthless consistency. No erratic movement. No search pattern. Just speed and direction. Time to CPA now. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. The words are spoken calmly, but everyone understands what they mean. There is no margin here, no rehearsal, no reset. On the bridge, the carrier's silhouette dominates the horizon ahead, unchanged, unhurried. A city of steel moving forward as if nothing beneath the water has shifted. But everything has. Recommend active sonar, CIC reports. That recommendation carries weight. Active sonar is not subtle. It is a shout into the ocean, a declaration that the ship is no longer hiding. It gives away position, heading, intent. The captain doesn't answer immediately. Another update cuts in. Weapon is maintaining depth, speed unchanged. The torpedo is confident. Go active, the captain says. Below the hull, the ship speaks. A sharp, metallic pulse slams into the water, rippling outward in expanding rings. The return comes back almost instantly. Clean, unmistakable. There, sonar says. Solid return, weapon confirmed. The torpedo answers the ping, not with fear, with adjustment. It's reacting, the operator continues. Minor course correction, still inbound. That reaction seals it. This is not a dumb weapon riding momentum. It's processing, listening, choosing. On another console, the torpedo's seeker tone changes pitch, subtle but clear. It has found something it likes. Countermeasures ready, a voice reports. Launch! Behind the scenes, compressed air hisses. Acoustic decoys eject into the sea, dropping fast, activating seconds later. They bloom underwater, filling the surrounding space with false signatures, loud, convincing echoes meant to confuse and seduce. Decoys in the water, CIC confirms. For a moment, the torpedo hesitates. The track wavers slightly, a fraction of a degree. A breath of hope. Then it corrects again. Negative effect, sonar says. Weapon rejected decoy. The line snaps back into its original path, tighter than before. On the bridge, no one swears. No one reacts outwardly. The captain's knuckles tighten just enough to whiten, then relax. All escorts, he says evenly. Execute separation plan. The formation begins to change. The carrier holds its course, massive and deliberate, while the screening ships peel away, each taking up a position designed to stretch the torpedo's options to complicate its solution. It's a ballet practiced countless times, now executed with real consequences. In CIC, the tactical display blossoms with motion. Bearings shift. Distances update. Everything is recorded. Nothing is wasted. Time to CPA 2 minutes. The torpedo accelerates again. That's max sprint, sonar notes. It's burning everything. That tells them something else too. This weapon expects impact soon. It believes it is close. The captain makes his next decision. Launch bubble screen. Along the hull, systems activate, pumping streams of compressed air into the water. Millions of bubbles erupt below, forming a shimmering curtain designed to distort sound, to break acoustic continuity. The effect is immediate. Weapon seeker is degrading, sonar reports. Signal strength fluctuating. For the first time, the torpedo truly hesitates. Its track bends just slightly, as if questioning its own senses. But it doesn't turn away. It's pushing through, the operator says. Still tracking primary. The torpedo has committed. Whatever logic governs it has chosen aggression over caution. Time to CPA 1 minute, 15 seconds. On the flight deck, engines spool down. Every unnecessary vibration is minimized. The ship itself seems to hold its breath. Inside CIC, the fire control officer leans forward. Recommend hard maneuver. That would be the last card. A sharp turn could throw off the torpedo's final approach, but only if timed perfectly. Too early, and the weapon adapts. Too late, and there's no room left. The captain looks at the clock, then at the horizon. Stand by, he says. The torpedo closes the distance at terrifying speed. Its acoustic signature grows louder, richer, filling the room with the sound of something alive and hunting. CPA 60 seconds. Every system is live now. Every option on the table. The clock keeps counting down. And somewhere below the surface, the weapon races forward, unaware that it is no longer the only hunter in the water. The torpedo is no longer the only problem. In the Combat Information Center, analysts begin to rewind the picture, not backward in time, but backward in space. Every bearing shift, every micro-adjustment the weapon has made is plotted, reversed, triangulated. Backtrack the launch basket, the watch supervisor orders. Lines bloom outward on the display, converging slowly toward a patch of dark ocean the naked eye would never notice. The math is unforgiving. The weapon's confidence gives it away. Probable firing point narrowing, sonar reports. Another ping goes out. Not loud. Precise. The return comes back layered and dense. A shape hiding inside the seafloor's clutter. There, the operator says. Secondary contact. Large, slow, deep. The room tightens. That's not debris, someone mutters. The contact shifts depth by a few meters, then steadies. It's trying to disappear. Trying to blend. It doesn't work. Contact classified, the supervisor says. Subsurface, firm. The bridge phone clicks once. CIC to bridge. We have a second contact. Submarine correlated with weapon launch. No drama, no raised voices, just confirmation. On the bridge, the captain exhales through his nose. Nationality? There's a pause as databases cross-reference hull shapes, acoustic fingerprints, propulsion rhythms stored over years. Signature matches Iranian diesel-electric class, CIC replies. High confidence. That answers the question nobody had asked out loud. Below the surface, the submarine moves again. A controlled descent, a careful attempt to slip beneath a thermal layer. Classic evasion. Textbook. They're going quiet, sonar says. Speed minimal. Too late. The torpedo continues its run, but now the ocean has changed. The water is alive with sensors, with intent. Launch ASW Helo, the captain orders. On the flight deck, restraint breaks. The Seahawk's rotors spin up, slow at first, then faster, chopping the air with purpose. Chains drop. Hands move. In seconds, the helicopter lifts cleanly into the sky and noses forward. Inside its cabin, the crew is already working. Dipping sonar ready. The helicopter hovers low over the suspected datum. The sonar dome lowers into the sea, piercing the surface like a needle. Ping out. The water answers. A hollow, metallic echo returns. Wrong for rock, wrong for wreckage. Contact solid, the helo reports. Large metal hull. The submarine reacts instantly. Below, it dumps ballast and turns hard, trying to slide laterally out of the sonar cone. A smart move, a trained crew. But the helicopter tracks it effortlessly, sliding sideways in the air, keeping the contact centered. In CIC, two threats now share the screen: the inbound torpedo racing toward the formation, and the submarine attempting to escape the consequences of firing it. We can't chase both, the fire control officer says quietly. Everyone knows that. Resources are finite. Time is finite. The water does not forgive hesitation. Priority remains the weapon, the captain says. Contain the sub. The helo crew adjusts altitude, redeploys the sonar. Each ping sharpens the picture. Submarine is maneuvering, they report. Course erratic. They know we have them. That knowledge changes everything. A submarine that knows it's been found is dangerous, unpredictable. It might fire again. It might try to flee. It might do both. In CIC, the torpedo's countdown drops under 40 seconds. Weapon still tracking primary, sonar confirms. No break. The submarine, sensing the pressure above, makes a final move, dumping decoys of its own, releasing clouds of noise and false signatures into the water. Countermeasures detected, sonar says. The ocean fills with ghosts. For a moment, the picture blurs. Contacts overlap. Returns smear together. Then training asserts itself. Hold classification, the supervisor snaps. Ignore the noise. Follow the mass. The real submarine cannot fake inertia. It cannot fake displacement. There, sonar says again. Contact regained. Same hull. The helicopter slides forward, unrelenting. Down below, the submarine's options are gone. It has been seen, heard, measured. Every move it makes is now data. The torpedo closes inside 30 seconds. 2 hunters, 1 ship, and 1 decision left. On the bridge, the captain's voice cuts through the tension. Prepare to engage the submarine, he says, as soon as the weapon is defeated. No threat, no warning, just a statement of sequence. The submarine slips deeper, quieter, desperate to buy time. It won't get it, because in the final moments before impact, the balance has already shifted. The prey is no longer running alone. The decision is made. In the Combat Information Center, the torpedo track flashes amber. Final approach. No more theory. No more modeling. Weapon inside terminal envelope. That is the last neutral phrase before violence. Launch counter-torpedo. The order doesn't echo. It doesn't need to. Deep inside the ship, a tube floods. Pressure equalizes. Then a second shape is released into the water, shorter, faster, built for one purpose only: kill the hunter. The counter-torpedo ignites almost instantly, accelerating hard, ripping through the bubble screen and locking onto the incoming threat. Its guidance logic is ruthless. No deception, no doubt. Counter-weapon active, sonar reports. High-speed intercept. On the main display, two lines race toward each other. One inbound, one outbound. The geometry is brutal and precise. Intercept solution steady. The torpedo reacts. Its seeker flares, suddenly aware that it is no longer alone. It jukes slightly, attempting a last-second correction. It doesn't matter. The counter-torpedo adjusts faster, climbing through the water column with violent efficiency. Closing. Closing. Then the screen blooms white. A concussive shockwave rolls through the sea. A dull underwater thump felt faintly through the hull. The inbound track vanishes instantly, replaced by scattered noise and drifting debris. Kill confirmed, sonar says. For half a second, nobody speaks. Then the supervisor nods once. Primary weapon neutralized. On the bridge, the captain doesn't react. His eyes stay forward, already on the next problem. Because the shot may be over, but the fight is not. Engage submarine, he says. Above the water, the Seahawk is already moving. Cleared hot, the helo crew acknowledges. The helicopter banks, lining up over the last firm datum. The sonar picture is sharp now, undeniable. The submarine is still there, slower, heavier, trapped. Subcontact attempting descent, the helo reports. Minimal speed. They're trying to hide again, trying to sink beneath another layer. They won't make it. Weapon away. A second object drops from the helicopter, cutting cleanly into the sea. No fanfare, no hesitation, just release. The anti-submarine weapon arms almost immediately, diving deep, listening intently as it hunts. Down below, the Iranian submarine reacts too late. It turns hard, dumping ballast, changing depth aggressively. Every evasive maneuver drilled into its crew. Sonar watches it all. They're maneuvering, CIC reports. Erratic. They know. The anti-sub weapon closes the gap with terrifying speed. Its seeker refines, rejecting decoys, ignoring clutter. The submarine makes one final move, cutting propulsion, going nearly silent. It buys seconds. Not enough. Contact lost. Stand by. Then, contact regained. Strong return. The underwater detonation is sharper this time, deeper, final. The sound is unmistakable. Metal stressed beyond design limits. Compartments collapsing. A structure giving way. The submarine's track breaks apart into fragments of noise, then settles into stillness. Submarine contact no longer maneuvering, sonar confirms. No propulsion noise. No one says sunk. No one says destroyed. The Navy doesn't speculate in moments like this, but everyone understands. Above, the helicopter pulls back, maintaining orbit. Sensors still active, recording everything. Evidence, proof. Insurance on the bridge, the captain finally exhales. Resume screen, he orders. Maintain readiness. The escorts ease back into position. The carrier never altered course. Not once. In CIC, data streams are already being archived. Acoustic signatures, weapon behavior, enemy reactions. Every second of the engagement is preserved. This wasn't chaos. It was execution. The torpedo had been answered. The submarine had been neutralized. And the ocean, once again, belonged to the quiet professionals who understood it best. No cheers, no celebration. Just the steady hum of systems returning to watchful silence. Because out here, survival isn't about noise. It's about doing everything right before the water closes in. The ocean settles first. Above the surface, nothing looks different. The carrier continues on the same heading it held before the alarm ever sounded. White wake, steady speed, aircraft secured and ready. To an untrained eye, it's just another transit. Below the surface, the story is already over. In the Combat Information Center, the displays quiet down one by one. No inbound tracks, no maneuvering contacts, just background noise and the slow, familiar rhythm of the sea reclaiming itself. Area clear, sonar reports. No further movement, the captain acknowledges with a nod. No speech, no emphasis. Maintain watch, he says. Normal posture. Condition 1 steps down. Watertight doors unlock. Systems return to steady state. The ship exhales without ever showing it was holding its breath. On the flight deck, crews resume motion like nothing happened. A tow bar is lifted. A hand signal is completed. A routine made possible by minutes of absolute precision below the waterline. Inside CIC, the work has only just begun. Every second of the engagement is already being replayed. Acoustic waveforms scroll across screens. Time stamps align. Analysts compare the torpedo's behavior to known profiles, isolating its logic, its priorities, the exact moment it rejected decoys and committed to its final sprint. That information matters more than the explosion ever did. This weapon wasn't blind, one analyst says quietly. It was trained. No one disagrees. The submarine's acoustic signature is dissected next. Propulsion rhythm, hull resonance, maneuvering response under pressure, the way it slowed when it realized it had been found. All of it is catalogued. Out here, data is deterrence. The helicopter crew lands smoothly, rotors spinning down as sensors continue to record until the last possible second. Nothing is left to chance. Nothing is left undocumented. On the bridge, the captain looks out over the water again. The same calm surface, the same horizon. But now, the ship knows something it didn't before. So does someone else. There is no broadcast, no announcement, no triumphant message sent across the fleet. That's not how this works. The message was delivered underwater, in silence, at speed. A single torpedo was launched with intent. It was not a warning shot. It was not a test. It was a decision. And it was answered. What happened here will never be explained with adjectives. It will be described in timelines, plots, and signatures. In lessons folded quietly into training syllabi and tactical manuals. Fire once. Reveal everything. The carrier strike group adjusts nothing outwardly, but inwardly the balance has shifted. The ocean remembers. The sensors remember. The analysts ashore will remember. Somewhere, a commander will look at the gap in a patrol schedule, at a silence where noise should be, at a report that ends abruptly. They will understand. This is how naval confrontations end when professionalism outweighs emotion. No flags waved, no victory declared, just a line drawn in water that cannot be seen. but will not be crossed lightly again. The carrier continues forward, unchanged, unstoppable in its routine. Aircraft launch schedules resume. Watches rotate. Meals are served. Life goes on because discipline held, and because one torpedo, launched with confidence, met a force that does not miss twice. They fired once. They will think for a long time before firing again.